Welcome back to Retro Restos. So we're pretty much finished now on this blade. There are a couple of little issues left to sort, but we're very nearly there. But today is hopefully quite a quick video, just to show you how to recover one of the seats. This one was in an accident, as you'll recall if you've been following the videos. The bike has been now repaired. We've had a new wheel. There's been various sort of bodywork replacement parts and throttle cables and various other things. She looks really clean now, really tidy, and just as she should be, but this does let her down now on the back. Quite common really with a motorcycle that's been crash damaged is there's scuff marks on the vinyl. They won't really polish out, they don't show up so well perhaps on the camera, but we've got it patched up with bits of tape. She's a bit of a mess. Let's have a look. Yeah, there's a couple of little splits. I mean, not the end of the world, but not perfect, not ideal, and generally looks a bit shabby now and lets the bike down a bit. I'm not going to do much with this strap. In fact, I might just take that off because people don't tend to use it too much anyway. But what I want to do is just put some new vinyl over this back seat, freshen it all up, and that will help to make the bike look good as new. So let's see how we do it. So here's a closer look at the underside of the seat. You can see that essentially the covering is stapled to the base all the way around. No extra adhesive or anything like that. It should be quite a simple process, but these things often can be more difficult than they look, and this is the first time I've ever attempted this, so it could go one of two ways. Essentially though, the tools you need are some scissors to cut the new covering. This one needs a 10mm socket to get the strap bolts off before we can get to the seat proper to remove it. We also need a staple gun, of course, to staple the new covering on. I've got some spray adhesive which I may or may not use, just depends on how well the staples are working. And of course we've got the new vinyl. I couldn't buy this locally, but I did try to support the local shops. I went to a couple of local towns, I went in the haberdasheries and couldn't find the vinyl. So this time we had to go online and buy some nice quality waterproof stretchy vinyl, which should be just the job. It's got a grain pattern to it, so it's like a leatherette kind of thing, and we'll see how we get on. So first things first, let's crack on and start removing the old seat cover. But just one final thing, of course, I did overlook the fact that I need various sort of picks or screwdrivers and pliers to remove the old staples. I doubt anybody be able to pull those out with their own fingernails, and I'm certainly not about to try. So yeah, anything you need really just to pick out the old staples. So you can see how the staples are going to come out. Basically a simple pry with a screwdriver, pull them out with the pliers and work your way around. I shan't bore you with all of that, so we'll catch us once we've removed the whole cover. Okay, so that's the cover removed. Now, part of the mechanism's quite loose under there, but that gets covered up again by the strap when that's bolted down, or at least the plates that we're going to put back on afterwards. So the little locating pins to locate the seat are marked left and right, and also, I don't know if the camera will pick that up, but they are they're also marked forward as well. So that ensures they go back in the right place. All we need to do now is use this piece as a template, and we'll cut the new piece out ready and start working from there. That piece is cut out, roughly cut out. Obviously we'll trim it soon. The main thing is obviously you need enough to go all the way around, but this is supposed to stretch anyway. This is proper vinyl covering for upholstery, so it's got to stretch, it will form, fit and mould around, and the key thing is to do it evenly. So it's like, for example, we'll start we'll start in one place and then we want to be able to stretch it and pull it in the opposite direction and start to work our way in and pull it and trim it into the corners as we go. If you just start at one side and try and pull it around, you end up with everything distorted and off center. So first thing we'll do is get a couple of pins or tacks in one end just to fix it, and then we've got a working surface to be able to stretch it from. So there's the new cover on. We've stretched it as best as we can all the way around. It now looks pretty tight, pretty it feels good. There's no sagginess in there, and yeah, it's on tight enough to rebound, but not so tight that it's distorting it at all. Unfortunately, my staple gun isn't nearly man enough really to go through, so I'm going to have to get a new one and redo some of these staples. However, I think it's not a bad job, and if we try and reseat this, there she is, she's snapped in beautifully, and there's no play. In fact, I'd go as far as to say that that seat actually fits better than the last one that was on there, so that thicker vinyl's probably helped actually. Let's have a look there. So there she is, better than it was. Obviously I need to go back now and just re-staple part of it, because the staples that are in there aren't necessarily in far enough really. I want to do them a bit tighter, but still looks a lot tidier now, and that's the scuff marks gone. There is only one final job to do, which is the brake light switch, but we'll show that in a separate video.